Everyone says that they will be next MGR, but is there anyone who wants to be another Vijay?
So far, no party is willing to join TVK.
Vijay would have no time for issues and problems of the people. Then what is the point of trusting and voting for him? The Gen Z generation into politics actually, but I think they are more wiser than Vijay, and they will be more wiser than Vijay after the elections.
What makes young people to choose Vijay?
Scarcity for the good people in politics.
Many poll surveys predict TVK leader Vijay will take away a big share of youth votes in the upcoming 2026 assembly elections. We could also see a big gathering of women in many political rallies of TVK leader Vijay. What draws people towards TVK leader Vijay, and how far the stardom which he earned in Kollywood would help him to survive in politics? We are joined by Professor Ramu Manivannan, who used to head the Politics and Public Administration Department in the Madras University. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
Sir, you have been witnessing a lot of changes in the Dravidian political landscape. And how do you assess emergence of TVK in the current political scenario? What would be the biggest advantage that Vijay can get with the current political scenario in Tamil Nadu?
I think the only advantage that Vijay can obtain or is likely to receive is curiosity.
Okay.
And not more than a curiosity, because any other political party or a leader coming to the fore come with a background of certain number of years spending time with the people or raising issues about public issues that are struggling at the ground. So I don't think Vijay has any of this as a background. So a cinema star coming to, cinema actor coming to politics is a very common curiosity in a state like Tamil Nadu.
Okay, but many people say, he will be another MGR. He himself predicts, he himself dresses up, and he himself talks and uses some of the political platforms to show up that he would be the next MGR. All that.
Can I ask one question? Everyone says that they will be next MGR, but is there anyone who wants to be another Vijay?
So far, no, we haven't heard.
So then that person who is talking about becoming someone is not capable of producing another person.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at it in a very philosophical way,
Yeah.
that he wants to be like MGR, but who wants to be like Vijay?
I understand.
So that leaves that if this question is not answered by the people, that nobody wants to be like him. So everybody wants to be like MGR. What is so unique about it?
Sir, earlier Vijay used to criticize all the Dravidian parties. He used to tell them, they offer freebies, they are not offering good governance. But when he released his manifesto, he himself has come up with a lot of freebies, particularly focusing on women.
Right.
So, how do we understand, what do we understand from his manifesto? How do we understand his politics?
See, if someone criticizes a policy, he should have an alternative for it. Or like, if he's talking about freebies, if you're talking about the welfare policies of the government, and if he's unable to make a distinction about what is a welfare policy and what is a kind of a vote bank thing, and but somewhere he is unable to distinguish between the catchment of the vote bank politics and then the welfare policies actually. So you can't have a blanket criticism about the welfare policies, nor you can completely kind of imitate a kind of a vote bank thing. What he is doing is that, like, is turning to the vote bank politics of the Dravidian parties.
Okay.
So there is a difference between welfare policies and then the vote bank freebie strategies. So more easy for him to follow the freebie approach than a kind of a substantially relevant welfare policies or social and economic programs.
So when we talk about alliance, forming alliance, sharing all that, Right from his early days as a politician, Vijay has been mentioning that he is ready to share power
Right.
in the government, and he would offer the posts like deputy chief minister, all that. But so far, no party is willing to join TVK. At the end, nobody is joining Vijay. Why people are excluding him?
One is untested, is not tested yet. Second thing is that, like, the lack of um demonstration of his political capabilities as a leader or as a party. And so people are not trusting Vijay. I mean, if people trust,
When DMDK was started, even remained an untested force, right? But people were ready,
ready to go for
parties
a
like
rally.
left parties were ready, and they joined DMDK alliance.
Yes.
But why
I
Vijay?
think it's quite clear because, like, he's not only untested but also, like, lack of reliability factor. See, like, if you want to go and be part of the alliance, or just, like, go in alliance with him or bring him into an alliance, is that uh, they don't know the equations that would emerge, like, which is the senior partner in this alliance, like, is Vijay prepared to share? If Vijay says you can become the deputy chief minister, can he say this to the AIDMK? Is ADMK a party to accept a deputy chief ministership from Vijay? Or Congress is, like, deputy, they would accept a deputy chief ministership from Vijay? Or you VCK, for example, the number of years that the leader of the VCK has spent in politics and public life, and would even be
It's
more
not a
than,
small feat.
yeah, so not a small thing. So that kind of reliability, trustworthiness, and then, like, a commitment. So the problem with Vijay is still, like, at the end of this, after the elections, if he succeeds, like you say, that, like, if he has certain percentage of votes, what is the guarantee that you would continue to be committed to party politics? If he takes a step out and then says that, I'm taking a break from politics, and what happens to these parties that go in alliance with him? So that the lack of credibility is a very high factor with Vijay.
Okay. After Vijay's wife Sangeeta came up with the divorce petition, uh, Vijay's personal issues are discussed in the social media. And when he used to be an actor, probably he would have asked people not to comment on his personal issues. But now that he's a politician, it's everything is discussed on the social media. Do you think that should not be the way? The politicians should also be given space to have their own personal, to deal their own personal issues.
See, political parties in Tamil Nadu that you can criticize about Dravidian movement or Dravidian parties, but, you take the case of DMK and its leadership, and after Periyar and DK, and subsequently formation of the DMK, and even with the ADMK formation in 1972, and with MGR, considerable senior members of the party went along with him, left the DMK. And similarly, in the DMK, you have this, not only the founder, but also the most charismatic leader, like, Peraringer Anna, for example. And then Anna was surrounded by a very eminent team of writers, researchers, orators, and public intellectuals. So Vijay does not have any of these around him, actually. So what is that he can deliver is also, people don't have that confidence. So this is one of the reasons why we are seeing that, like, is kind of the transition that he promises to take the state and his cadres into the next level is a non-existing factor. Actually, it's an illusion. And it's, if you say mirage, it can be a kind of an exaggeration, but certainly he comes from a cinema. Cinema is, like, it's reality is there in cinema. Reality cinema is there, but, somebody who has not done any political groundwork, and with just the money, power, and wealth that he possesses, he can become a chief minister in 2 years' time. Nobody in this state, whoever has become a chief minister until now, has come such a short way in politics.
What it makes to be what it means to be a political leader, what it means to be a full-time politician. Is Vijay ready for that? Have we seen any of since the launch till date? Has he given any clues that he is a full-time politician? What can we read from?
I think he hasn't generated that kind of a confidence that a full-time politician can do, actually. See, he can always say, see, everybody has a profession, I have to go act, I have to run in the films, so where do I get the time to be a full-time politician? So I am just a politician who's to be reckoned with. But people would always imagine if Vijay would have no time for issues and problems of the people, then what is the point of trusting and voting for him? I mean, if you're not a full-time politician, which you're not ready to confess, then you're from you have a passion for cinema and a good cinema, and you also have a engagement with the corporate movie styles, corporate movies, and huge high-end budgets. So your drive is something different, actually. And I feel that, I'm not against cinema people coming into politics, or people working among the people have all the right to come and represent those people, or even represent the issues in politics. But Vijay doesn't promise to deliver any of this, because look at his movies and then the releasing dates. It's all like a fanfare. It's all like a fanfare for the party members and for the thing. And if you see the gap in the TVK, you find very creamy, very rich kids who are in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, are all things. Then similarly, who are kind of politically novice and decayed political perspectives, people who have, they are also coming to politics, actually. So he is able to attract what you call is new generation, Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z generation into politics, actually. But I think they are more wiser than Vijay, and they will be more wiser than Vijay after the elections. Like Vijay is likely to become wiser after the elections. And these Gen Z is likely to be much more intelligent even before the elections, because when they go to vote, they will know that whatever they have been speaking or supporting or defending Vijay as an alternative, that they have to convince themselves before they're voting for that. Okay. And if they believe that Vijay will represent them, lead them, and take the state to the higher level, then they don't have to worry. It's a state in the good hands, actually. But that's not the truth. Even for a cat to accept his campaign, accept his lifestyle, and then what he speaks about in public space, I don't think that he's been able to generate that kind of confidence among the people about his role in politics, or even about himself.
Sir, what kind of strength that Vijay has? So many young people are joining him. What makes young people to choose Vijay?
Scarcity for the good people in politics. It's a law of demand and supply. And there is so less a supply. I mean, not that he is a most competent, he is a good leader, good person. We don't know all that, actually.
Do you think Dravidian parties have failed in this attempt to
Certainly.
attract people into young people into politics?
Yes, there is a declining interest in politics that has happened over the years, because
But all the parties are having youth wing, student
that's
wing.
okay. If you look at the youth wing, the average age of the leader of the youth wing in the state in the last 5 years, it'll all be over 45. And could even be touching 60, between 45 and 60. But politically active young leaders means it should be between about 20 to 35. The young leaders come into the fore. So you don't have really the youth movement or a youth in the party as we are made to believe in many political parties. Because the party structure where the youth will come is that the succession to power, the line of succession is visible, transparent, and impactful. So they don't find it that without naming a party, I can say that they all become more organizational, more family and personal oriented.
Okay.
So therefore you have certain chance windows, chance perspectives, like Vijay becoming an alternative within this realm of understanding of power.
How did we miss to inspire the young people, the young minds, to be a political thinker, to think about the
Take interest in
ideologies?
politics.
Yeah, where did we miss?
It's consciously the Dravidian parties, whether DMK or ADMK, including ADMK, I'm saying, the role of cinema, then the powerful image of MGR. All this have tried their best to either campaign for their own parties or depoliticize the masses. In the process, the degeneration of politics has taken place over the years within this, if you take the case of DMK or any other political party. So this degeneration, depoliticization, which has been the purpose of the parties in power, whether it's the DMK or regional or national parties. But then in the case of this is the option that how this can be developed further. Like for example, recruiting good leaders. And you can't implant leaders. Leaders have to grow from within, actually. But if you look at the party structure, it's very feudal, very family oriented, and the succession within the family is the succession within the party in appropriate level of party and government system.
Sir, don't you think the plank given by TVK would help young people to grow a bit, to think about politics, to know what politics is all about, how this business of politics works, and probably can we expect some of them to grow and choose some other parties?
Yeah, but they can grow and then decide about choosing a party at an appropriate time. But the decay of that self, individual self, will be far more rapid if you're traveling with the party and the leadership like the TVK, because you have to, if you're around for 5 years, and like he says, I want to be like an MGR, but MGR, after coming out of DMK, he didn't even have to wait for longer than 5 to 6 years of time before becoming a chief minister. I mean, not straight away. So these people straight away thinking that I will become a chief minister and without any work.